What do you think?
I think we're dead meat. Real dead meat.
You're dead meat! Go ahead and laugh, you guys. If I ever find a little bastards that did this, they're dead meat.
Welcome to the Dead Meat Podcast, an extension of the YouTube channel Dead Meat. I'm James.
I'm Chelsea, and we're a boyfriend and girlfriend, and we like to get scared together.
Oh, yeah, I forgot my glasses. Sunglasses for the Paranormal Pool Party. Lucy's here. Lucy just cannonballed right onto the table.
Hi, Lucy. Yeah, it's we're on week 4 of our Paranormal Pool Party.
Mm-hmm.
We just got back from Comic-Con. I'm glad people are enjoying the pool party because it's really saved my ass this summer because I haven't had to plan week by week what I'm going to do. It's just I'm doing the next movie. So we were able to go do things like meet a lot of you at Comic-Con, and I wasn't ripping my hair out with stress. So cool. And also, I think now we're just going to do the next 2 movies because, as we'll discuss, I have so many questions that did not get answered.
I'm
by
so
this.
worried they're not going to get answered. I haven't seen Ghost Dimension, but by what Clark was telling us, I feel like we shouldn't get our hopes up.
I know, but it'll at least fill in some blanks.
Sure.
Add some more world building stuff. I'm curious, so I asked you on Twitter if you would be down for that, and you are. I'm shocked. I thought you'd all be very bored of Paranormal Activity by now, but I think we are going to space it out with something different next week, like, you know, like a fun game or something, and then we'll get back. We'll do another Paranormal What's the next one?
Marked ones.
Marked ones, okay,
Yep.
and then we'll do something else, and then we'll do Ghost Dimension.
Yeah,
and then
because
we'll be done.
we need a little bit of a break from Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, I think I need a break from it. It's just editing it it's a lot of the same, you know.
Watching them, a lot of the same.
It is, yeah. They're kind of
This one
samey.
especially, Paranormal Activity 4.
Yeah, because I was surprised going into it because I looked at the score it had on Rotten Tomatoes and it has a 20-something.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of excited that it would be really bad.
Oh, no.
But it's not. I think it just has that low of a score because it's so much more of the same.
Yeah, I really tried to watch this one with, blank slate afresh. Because, the reputation is that this is the bad one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's... Lucy's tail just thwacked you in the face. So I tried to watch it not with that preconceived opinion already. And, it's not... Like you said, it's not like a disaster.
No, it's not. I actually was kind of surprised by how not terrible it was.
Yeah, it's just nothing really great. Good things are the kids, I think, are good.
Yeah, I think the actors are all good in this.
Yeah, continuing the trend with these movies. The actors are solid, natural. The Kinect is a good idea.
That is really cool.
It produces, the coolest scare, in my opinion, when the boys are, chasing each other. Oh, it's like a retroactive scare.
Yeah.
It's so good. We
Those
had to
are
rewind
always
it.
fun scares. I think that's an underrated type of scare where you realize after the fact that what you were watching was really weird. Mm-hmm. Where in the moment it doesn't seem weird at all, but then retroactively you understand, oh, ew.
Yeah, it kind of, there's some Haunting of Hill House stuff that's like that,
yes.
I think. And it's great.
I love when that's done well. It really, that's the kind of stuff that gets under my skin. But yeah, I don't know. I think, it's not an awful movie. I think that's kind of the thing though, is it's like a proficiently done Paranormal Activity, which at this point in the series is boring. And I think that's why it has bad reviews.
It just didn't introduce, the Kinect was new, but besides that, it didn't introduce enough new things, and it just kind of coasted for most of the time.
Yeah.
It's also the Paranormal Activity with, I think, the least believable setup as to why all these cameras are rolling. And
yes, I agree.
This one, because in the other 3, they're all justified and you buy into it.
They're done well. They're written into the story well.
This one is not.
No.
This one's just a found footage movie.
Yeah, because okay, let's set up so this is our plot in this 4th one. We meet Alex is our main character, played by, is it
Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, played by Detective Pikachu.
Is it Catherine Newton?
Catherine Newton, yeah. She was in Detective Pikachu, and Yeah, that's why she looked so familiar that
Yeah.
whole movie.
I think she was only 22 in Detective Pikachu. She is an actual 15-year-old here, which I would like to talk about a little bit later because there's, I don't know, 15-year-olds are sexually active, and that's fine. But just
it's
some of the
weird.
ways it's shot.
It's weird watching them talk about it. Like,
That's even fine because that's like believable. That's
Yeah.
like whatever. But like, I don't know. There's a shot of her coming out of the shower with a towel on. That's unnecessary. Some of her like French pose in bed on a webcam. It's just
it's
a
like,
little
ooh, I
uncomfortable.
shouldn't be watching this. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's very good though. She's excellent in this role.
Yes. Yeah. She is really, really good.
I also really liked her boyfriend, maybe Ben.
boy as opposed to what?
Well, I don't think they're actually dating.
Oh, I thought they were.
I think it's an unspoken relationship.
Oh, you think that it's
Because at one point early on in the film, I think he's like, "You called me your best friend," and she was like, "Yeah." And I think it's like a friendship where both of them like each other and flirt with each other, but maybe they
Oh.
haven't asked each other out and are officially dating. I don't know.
Oh, I see.
Which is kind of like, I like that relationship because that happens all the time, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I like these two a lot. So this teenage couple who they live in Nevada. It's set in 2011, so this is how many years after that?
It's 5 years after, and we actually do have a kind of a cold open
Yeah.
that takes place in 2006 with just reminding you of the end of the second one, which this is a sequel to.
Yeah.
Because almost all of 3 took place in the 80s. So this one's like, remember how the second one ended?
Oh, yeah, because that would have been so long ago.
Yeah.
It is a kind of a previously on Paranormal Activity
Definitely.
thing.
It's like previously on Paranormal Activity.
Yeah. So yeah, we get flashbacks to Christy, and then we get this little scene where it's Christy and Katie with Hunter, and Hunter in that clip is like a year old. He's basically the age he is in the second movie.
Because then it replays the ending of the second one when Katie comes in and kills Christy
Right.
and steals Hunter.
So it's Katie giving Hunter a bead necklace that she made. She's giving everyone necklaces.
Oh, did she?
It looks like a necklace you would make because I think it has, I think it says Hunter and beads. Maybe
Oh,
it was.
great.
It was definitely. I think that's like her thing. That's what she does.
Awesome.
Yeah, and everyone just accumulates those. All these necklaces from Katie. So cool. I'm glad we have bead time kind of in this one too. It's my favorite weird runner in this.
Well,
series.
Alex has the bead door
She does.
that Katie walks through in the end.
I know. I was laughing today thinking about how good it would have been if they had Katie stop and kind of turn around and then stare at that bead curtain, and then the camera speeds up like it does when she's staring at Mika in the first movie, but she's just looking at
looking
these
at the beads, yeah, inspecting the beads on the bead door.
Yeah, that's
That
her
would've been
one
great.
weakness. That's how you defeat her.
Yeah, that's how you get the real Katie coaxed out of the
Yes.
possessed one. Is like, beads, Katie, remember?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but now it's 2011 in Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada.
Nevada? I forget
I
how
think it's Nevada.
I think it's Nevada.
Yeah.
Let us know, Nevadans, how it's pronounced.
Yes.
But yeah, so, the other ones took place in California. This one's neighboring
Yeah, so we're in
Nevada.
Nevada.
They went next door because Alex, like you said, this 15-year-old girl has new neighbors moving in across
they
the
got new
street.
neighbors moving in across the street.
And one of them's a creepy little kid.
Yeah, so we instantly think, oh,
Oh, that's Hunter.
that's Hunter.
Under a new name, Robbie.
Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie is the fucking best.
Yeah, Robbie's kind of the best part of this movie.
I agree. At one point, Ben, when Robbie comes over their house and shakes her hand, Ben's like, I fucking love
he
this
goes, I
kid.
fucking love this kid.
He shook their little hand.
It's when I think he says it right when that kid is walking up and he realizes that he has Birkenstocks with socks on, which I also thought was very funny and is such a that's such a weird look for a little kid. You instantly feel put off. Like maybe he's just German. I don't know.
The kid's got a great look to him.
Yeah.
a very is this a little old man in a kid's body look?
Yes, he's very adult in a kid body.
And his line deliveries are nice and creepy, like he doesn't like you, or like he doesn't like you watching us.
Yeah, he's good.
And he would end up being in one of our favorite shows of the past couple of years, Pen 15.
Yes, that's right. He plays one of the characters' boyfriends in Pen 15, and because it was driving me nuts. It's like Robbie looks so familiar, but I don't know what I would know him from. If I know him from anything, he's gonna look older and whatever I know him from, probably.
Just a little older.
But just a little bit, yeah. No, he's great in that. He's such a perfect typecast for someone's first boyfriend in junior high.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so funny in
I
that.
love him. He's such a good guy in that show.
Yeah, he is. He is. Yeah. Alex is the teenage girl. We have a boyfriend, and Alex has a younger brother named Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
And they live with their mom and dad in this nice ass house.
Nice fucking
Everyone in
house.
Paranormal Activity's got nice houses.
I know. That's why I'm excited for the marked ones. A change of
Yes,
scenery.
I want something different.
This is so, like, all four of these movies are just, like, upper middle class, maybe even upper class, just, like, white suburban.
I would say this family's gotta be upper class. That's a big house.
That's a huge house.
That's a really, really
Is this
big
the best house of them? We've been commenting on all the houses
I think
so far.
I think this is probably
The one
this
that
one's
if you had to live in one, you would pick this
Yeah,
one?
although this one, it's bordering on McMansion for
Oh,
me.
definitely. But they all kind of are.
Yeah, that's true. Especially the second one. Now that I think about it.
Second one's very McMansion, and that first one I would just burn to the fucking ground.
Yeah,
I hate
that-
it so much.
Well, it's because the inside looks like shit. I'm sure it's a fine house. It's not decorated well. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I guess they're all kind of McMansion-y.
Oh, and also, apparently there is a rumor, and maybe it's one of those fucking unsourced IMDb trivia.
I guarantee this is
Guys,
bullshit.
don't rely on IMDb trivia for facts.
IMDb trivia, I don't know what happened, but I feel like IMDb trivia used to be at least a little bit more
Or maybe we just fact
interesting
checked
or
less.
reliable.
Maybe we just like
No, I just think it's more people use the internet now, and people can put whatever the fuck on IMDb's trivia.
But never take an IMDb
No.
trivia at face value without researching it yourself to make sure it's true. Because apparently, and I believe it was from IMDb trivia, there was a rumor that the first and second films were filmed in the same house, and it was Oren Pelly's house, and he just remodeled it. And someone tweeted that at me, and I didn't respond because I was like, that doesn't sound right. But you know who did respond? Oren Pelly.
Shut up!
He
Did
fucking-
he really?
he
Wait, how did I miss that?
I don't know. He's not. I don't think he's verified on Twitter. Maybe that's why.
Maybe,
But
weird.
he
What'd he
responded.
say?
He was like, "I don't know where you heard this, but it's not true."
I mean, yeah.
Obviously,
Those
it's
are
not
two
true.
different buildings.
Yeah, but in case you've ever heard that and wanted to repeat it as a fun fact, it's not true.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I love that there's such bullshit online that Oren Pelly has to tweet at you and say, no,
No, it's not
please
true.
stop. It's not true. Why would someone make that up?
I don't know.
It's so
man.
innocuous.
Yeah, he did not direct this movie. He produced it alongside Jason Blum, like all these. But it's the Catfish Boys who are back directing this one.
Yeah, and
Henry Joost and Ariel
screenplay by
Schulman.
Christopher B. Landon. That's kind of
Same
what
team that did the third
blows
one.
my mind because that third one is so great and this one is so whatever.
I think they just ran out of steam and like.
Yeah, I
and
wonder if maybe they had a contract to do two.
Maybe.
And they did that one and then it was like, well, fuck, we gotta do this fourth one. I don't know. Again, this isn't a terrible movie.
Yeah.
Which I was a little disappointed. I wanted a hot mess.
I know. It's just very mediocre and a little low effort.
I think it's hard. I think that maybe that's another downside to found footage is you can't really have a hot mess found footage. A hot mess found footage is just going to be bad and uninteresting.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there are any hot mess found footage.
I think
movies.
that, what's that one? Grave Encounters is kind of a hot
Oh,
mess.
we hated Grave Encounters.
I think
But that-
maybe there's weird effects in that.
But it suffers from just having seen so many found footage movies because, yeah, it's a subgenre that has limitations, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I think that's why this one feels so bleh, is because, like, it's the fourth one in a series that's mostly doing the same thing, man.
I will say there was stuff in Grave Encounters I did like, so don't at me. That movie does do some kind of cool stuff.
I don't
in
remember
its
it that well.
last
It's like
act.
House of Leaves-ish, right?
Yeah, it's like
That's when it gets
impossible
kinda cool.
insides of buildings.
That's always fun.
And yeah, I have such a weakness for that. I always think that's so creepy and good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great. So yeah, they got a little brother Wyatt who's 6 years old. Looks to be about the same age as Robbie across the street. And then she's got parents, and her parents suck. They like never listen to her.
That is such an underlying thing in this that is kind of there and not really explored, and that maybe creeps me out more. The fact that it's such a not talked about thing. I think maybe Alex brings it up once that her parents they pretend everything's fine, and the parents are both very like they don't really communicate, and it's just, yeah, it sucks.
And that's I think that's fine to have in a movie, and it's, happens all the time, but there are just a couple of times when it's annoying to me. It's when they're showing the dad the video footage and they're like, Dad, look at this crazy thing that's happening, and he's just like, whoa, you guys are so good with computer. I can't even work my cell phone, but you guys are so good. And he just leaves, and it's like, no, man, like, I understand he's a distant father, but like, you gotta fucking listen to your kids when they're saying, no, we didn't do this.
Yeah, right, you gotta believe your kids.
Yeah, and then the mom has another thing later on where it's just the same kind of like totally dismissive to the kids, and it's just a little frustrating of like, no, fucking listen to them and look at the footage.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah. Well, because at first, honestly, at some points in this movie, I'm on the mom's side a little bit when she's talking about Robbie, because so what happens is there's apparently some incident. We don't really find out what.
I know.
There's some incident where the mom who lives across the street, their new neighbor that moved in, has to be taken to the hospital. And so Robbie ends up staying at their house for a few days. And they put on Alex's computer at night and they have it filming her sleeping. And she realizes that Robbie at night like comes into her room and watches her sleep and then gets in bed with her and like puts his hand on her. But I'm thinking, and the mom says something to this effect too, is I'm not like, yeah, it's weird, but my first reaction isn't being creeped out. My first reaction is being really sad.
Yeah, right.
That this kid is
abandoned
probably
kid.
really scared and wants someone to cuddle with and is freaked out. But obviously, in a horror movie universe, that is the incorrect answer. The correct answer is Robbie is a fucking freak and maybe a like weird immortal I don't even know. I was reading an interview with the two directors where the interviewer was asking questions about Robbie and just what the fuck is Robbie, and their answers were so unsatisfying and so funny.
I bet it's just
it literally
like,
was
kid.
It literally was them saying, well, that's something to explore later. Robbie is just he's basically an ambassador for this cult. Like, he's the one where if they need a kid, they have Robbie and they go send him out to. So I'm thinking, is Robbie just a perma kid? What's the deal?
Right. I hope we get some answers in Ghost of I'm not expecting
I love the
them.
idea of them just having this weird kid.
Perma kid,
Yeah.
For sure. That's great.
Mm-hmm. It's creepy.
But yeah, it's not explored.
Nope.
Because should we just say spoiler alert?
Yes.
Because this whole time you're thinking Robbie is Hunter. No, at the end, Wyatt is Hunter.
Wyatt, the kid in the main character's family, because you find out at some point in the movie
that's
that
the other thing.
They don't reveal that early
Maybe
enough.
we missed a line earlier where they say that he was adopted, but the way I saw it, you find that out
way late.
Like at the end when you also find out he's Hunter.
When I made that connection, and again, we could have missed it, and that's the problem with trying to review something for the podcast, is I'll miss things if I'm writing notes down, but I'm pretty sure the first time we realize that he's adopted is when we first see that the mom across the street is Katie.
Yeah.
And that's
which is way late.
Really late in the movie. Because she says something about, she looks down at Wyatt and she says, oh, he looks just like his mother or something.
And so if we missed the line earlier,
then that's
a big difference. Because if it's like I thought and that's the first time, that sucks. that it wasn't introduced earlier.
Especially
Especially after is it the second one or third one that has or the second one does it so well right off the
Yes,
bat.
the
Like My
second
Brother
one's
from Another
very
Mother.
good.
Like it just drops it in naturally.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. That's such a contrast between that one and this one, where the exposition is not done as well here. And yeah, if it is dropped earlier, then ignore the next statement. But if it is dropped as late as we both think it was, I wonder if it was just a thing where they're writing the script and they realize we can't let on too early that he's adopted, because then you know right away why it is Hunter, or else why would they write in the fact that this character's adopted?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, scripts don't really do that, even though it should just be like a normal thing to have, like that he's adopted and it's not a plot point.
Mm-hmm.
Like that'd be kind of a cool thing to see more of. And it kind of, I was thinking during the last stretch of this movie how much it kind of sucks that, we're doing the adopted kids are weird thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's not true. I know plenty of people that were adopted and are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're adopted, don't worry. You're probably not a demon kid.
Yeah.
You're just a person.
Probably not. Yeah. Sought after by this witch coven for reasons.
Yeah. Huge ass coven in the end there.
Yes, I did like that a lot.
That was cool.
Yeah.
No, the first time we see creepy ass Robbie, besides when he like runs away when you first see him, is that soccer game they're recording.
Yes,
and he's like, he's just like standing in the background watching a soccer game, disappears, but then they keep filming and fucking. What's his name? Wyatt?
He basically does a look what I can do, and then fucking pile drives his ass into the ground. He fucking
pile drives himself, dude. That
he goes
kid
head
jumps
first
and
into the ground.
Inverted.
It really was like a botched move. It was upsetting.
Kid, you can't do that. That move was banned in '98.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, all the moments that Robbie just pops up in this movie is so funny, and I love it. Robbie's definitely my favorite part of this movie.
Yeah, Robbie's
when
great.
they see him in the treehouse, which that got me.
Oh yeah, that's a good scare.
Yeah,
because
not treehouse, it's like a jungle gym that they have in the backyard, because Alex is like, this is my castle in the backyard. It takes Ben out there, and obviously Ben is like, we're gonna fuck in this playground, but then they climb up the ladder and he's filming and he's like, oh, it's actually really gross up here.
Yeah, I love that. It's way dirtier.
I mean, yes, I did kind of appreciate that, because in movies and stuff, tree houses always look way cooler than they are. Tree houses and playgrounds like that in your backyard are always gross, you know?
Well, I think this one was gross because Robbie was squatting in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was like his stuff, like
gross.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's something to be explored.
Yeah,
later.
That's something we'll find out in a later installment. Yeah, Ben turns the camera on and it's just Robbie's face.
His fucking big ass face with his bowl cut.
It's so good.
They adopt him kinda or whatever. They let him stay. Alex does have a point. Like, do you even know the mom or anything?
Yeah.
No, because I mean we already know it's Katie if you're thinking about it.
Oh yeah, it's very obvious.
But yeah, so Ben sets up a bunch of cameras, and it's like he sets up the mom's kitchen laptop to record.
I forget why. Is it because
okay, so initially he sees when Robbie comes into Alex's bed and puts his little weird boy hand on her, he was recording Alex's webcam.
Yes.
Being a teenage boy.
Yeah.
Which, if you're listening, don't do that. That's illegal.
That's an invasion of privacy.
Total invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
But he did it, and that's why he was like, I don't know, my computer just records it on its own. Okay, bud. Whatever. But then she's like, can you make all the computers record like this? Which, no, you can't, man. Where's all that?
I was like, no, you can't. That whole time I'm sitting there going, no, you can't do this. That's so much space. That's so much. Where does this go? This family
bandwidth.
Yes.
If the program crashes or the computer's turned off before it closes the file, that file's gone.
Yeah.
You know? And then later, like near the end,
we're turning the computer off, but it's still recording.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
That's the thing with this one is the setup for the cameras is
bad.
such bullshit.
Yeah, I find honestly that third one more believable when we
With the
think
VHS.
Dennis is just going out and buying piles of tapes. and replacing them every 6 hours. That's more realistic.
It's more
than
and set up
this.
better. He mentions that.
Yeah,
This is like,
because
okay.
he has a job where he videotapes things for a living. This is like, the parents randomly have like terabyte hard drives because they're gamers.
Yeah, like a RAID server
Yeah.
somewhere in their house, like a fiber optics network, shared storage.
Yeah.
Because, we got the kitchen laptop. We got Alex's laptop. They set up a camera in the living room. And that's the one with the night vision for the Kinect thing, which is pretty cool.
A lot.
And then I think
there's one in Wyatt's room.
Oh, with his little laptop.
Yeah.
'Cause he has, like, Alex's old laptop. I don't think there are smartphone recordings in this one. I think she just carries her laptop around because it's 2011.
Oh, is she that whole time? She's carrying her laptop.
Carrying that laptop
in my
around.
brain, I was just thinking, oh, she's carrying her phone around.
Or like a tablet or something. No, I think she's just.
Oh, wow. She's just carrying her laptop around this whole movie.
Yeah, because by 2011 we have smartphones, but like I don't think the streaming video is quite as big. Yeah, so those are the cameras we have set up. Like we said, there is a night vision thing with the Kinect, the Xbox Kinect, which is no longer popular, but at least they do they explain it so it doesn't require the audience to already know what it is.
This is an example of this is a thing in the script that is explained well that I think is some good writing. So the Kinect, and I knew what that was. I've always kind of wanted one.
I bought one for my sister and her now husband, and I think they got rid of it. Like they didn't like it.
No, I would have taken it because the Kinect has the really good dance game. That's what I would do. I like the dance because I like Just Dance with the Wii, but
it's dumb because it's
you
only
have
your
to
hands.
hold. Yeah, but the Kinect is your whole, and those are hard.
With the Wii,
Those
you can
dance.
cheat with your legs.
Yeah,
with Kinect.
The Kinect, like the dance routines are really hard. Like they're legit dancer. Like
because it was the Moscow thing. Right?
Oh yeah, I think Moscow was on Just Dance. It might have been on both. Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, the Kinect basically it's a motion sensor thing for what was it for? Xbox?
It was for Xbox.
Yeah.
The problem is it probably spied on you.
Oh yeah, I mean
that
everything
was the
spies
thing.
on
Everything
you now.
fucking spies on us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
9/11.
Yeah. Patriot Act, what up? Hashtag freedom. So they have this Kinect, and because again it's a found footage movie, none of the kids in this house would be explaining to each other what the Kinect is. But that's tough because if you want to use the Kinect as a device in this movie, which is very cool and is done well, you have to make sure your audience gets what the Kinect does. And I think they did this in such a smart way by having, is it Ben who's messing with the camera? And he goes, whoa, look what the Kinect does when you film it with the lights off and in night vision. And so when you turn the lights off and there's night vision, there's all these dots all over the room. It looks like stars. It's really cool looking. It's like, it looks like one of those lights you always see on Halloween where it's the green, like, dot lights.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
it kind of looks like that. And he's like, oh, see all these dots here, these are the infrared sensors that the Kinect uses to detect motion so it can capture your movement. So by doing that and by setting up this night vision and by being like, whoa, look at how cool this looks, you get him explaining what the Kinect does without it sounding like, why are you telling me this? I live here and I own this. You don't need to tell me how this works.
It's very well done.
Yeah, it's just, I appreciate those little bits of clever screenwriting in this because that's hard to do.
There's also Toby, because Toby, they're calling him by
I love that
name.
he's still Toby.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course he is, but.
Toby's avatar on the Kinect is like this creepy, and Ben's like, creepy avatar there. Yeah. And then what's great is like it moves, and you know the avatar is supposed to move like with a person, but it moves on its own in the Kinect. So that's a fun little first scare.
Toby's avatar looks like the good idea, bad idea guy from Animaniacs. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I remember the name of that segment.
Good
I don't.
idea. It's the light bulb, and it's
Yeah.
that little guy. It looks like the fucking avatar.
Fuck, I don't remember what he looks like.
He's kind of
Bad
creepy.
idea.
Yeah. He's like
Okay.
a friendly looking Slender Man.
Yeah,
kind of.
it's a little
It's
Slender
weird.
Man.
Yeah. But yeah, so Toby is back in this movie and he's Robbie's quote unquote imaginary friend. He's introducing Wyatt to Toby. We get to kind of see Toby in this one, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, through that Kinect.
I
thing.
like this a lot.
So
I will say this movie had maybe the highest count of times I said, how did they do that? For
Oh,
little
man, when
effects
she's risen
and
up
stuff.
in the bed.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's cool. We talked about this a bit, but Alex she wants to be recording everything at all times because reasons that I'm still not 100% on. I guess because she thinks she wants to spy on Robbie. She doesn't trust him. So we get our first, it's like our, I'm just going to start on night 3 because I think night 3 is where like creepy shit starts going down with the Kinect specifically. We have Robbie and Wyatt get out of bed and they're just running around at night, which I guess would be normal. It's like little kids, you're having a slumber party,
it's
running
fun.
around. And you see on the Kinect, you see 2 figures. You see like one being chased by Robbie, I think. Then the lights turn on because Alex comes downstairs and is like, what the fuck are you doing up this
I think it's
late?
the mom, but yeah.
Oh, it's the mom.
Yeah.
What the
One of
fuck?
them. Yeah.
One of them. She flips on the lights and you realize that where that one figure was in the front, it's not there anymore. And you thought it was maybe Wyatt, or I did.
Yeah,
But no, Wyatt is back
just coming around the corner now.
He was behind Robbie that whole time. Ooh, I love that.
It's so good.
That's what I mean by things that are creepy after the fact.
Yeah, because when you see the figures running in the infrared, you think it's the 2 little kids.
You just think it's Robbie and Wyatt.
And then the lights come on, and that front one is gone, and the
Ooh,
second one, it's so good.
Yeah, I love that.
It was maybe my favorite bit of like fuckery with all the Kinect and just like creative scares.
Yeah.
As opposed to like a jump scare, just like, that was probably my favorite.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love to, if you can think of any examples of scares that are scary after the fact.
Ooh, yeah, please.
Leave them in the comments because I love things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like there's some good ones in Hill House where you realize in retrospect, oh no, what I was watching was just deeply fucked up and I had no idea.
Yeah, so there's like, just random spooky stuff. There's like a trail of toys that Alex finds, and she follows them into Robbie and Wyatt's room, and Robbie's like, he doesn't like you watching us. And then she almost gets crushed by a chandelier falling.
Yes, oh my God.
One of 2 giant chandeliers.
One of 2 identical giant chandeliers.
Actually, there might be more than 2, because when the dad's calling about them, he's like, oh yeah, we had
I ordered a dozen of these. You installed them last week, and one almost killed my... Yeah, just dozens of them in my home.
I'm going to have you come over and check the bathroom chandeliers and the pantry chandeliers.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be great if that scene we'll get to later, but where that knife falls right in front of the laptop is just another chandelier. the kitchen island chandelier.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pulls a fucking Phantom of the Opera and tries to just straight up kill her with a chandelier.
And then across the street, some cars start to appear on night 6 at Robbie's house. And
Party at Robbie's house.
Alex just goes over there trespassing.
Yeah.
With the camera, I think, not the laptop.
I was with the
yeah,
this is why I was. So she has a camera as well.
It might be the living room camera. I don't know.
It's
not set up well, man.
Yeah, it's weird. The other 3 movies, I have a very solid idea of how many cameras there are and what they're using when they're filming certain things.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, I don't really know like what she's carrying around this whole time. Yeah.
But yeah, she goes over there and
she just opens the front gate. She does this a couple times. They do it early in the movie too, where she's like, oh, the new neighbors are moving in. Me and Ben are going to this party. Oh, let's take the shortcut, because the old neighbors apparently used to let them do that. So they just decided to do that with these new neighbors, which...
That's trespassing.
Yeah, come on. One that's trespassing.
I don't know what Nevada's laws are, but in some states,
Yeah, pro tip, if you're not from America, if you ever visit here, don't take a shortcut
Don't
through someone's
trespass.
yard. It doesn't really matter what state. I just assume you can't and assume everyone has a gun. Don't do it. Just don't do it. But yeah, so she opens up this front gate and there's a spooky old lady. Lots of spooky.
Can I help you?
Spooky lady scares.
Runs away. Wrong house, sorry. And then, I don't know how to talk about this without just listing the spooky stuff.
That's kind of another thing, another note I had about this movie, that the other movies, as much as, yes, they are kind of a series of day, then night, then day. And we mentioned this as kind of a flaw in 2, where it lulls a little bit. There's kind of a drag where it's like, okay, we're doing day and then we're doing night and something is spooky and then it's day and then night. And so that's what most of this movie feels like. And it sucks that there's a little stretch of it in 2, and that's to me the low point of that movie. And that's what a lot of this is it's just we're alternating day and night and something creepy happens, but there's not much character development.
Yeah,
that's what the third, and I mean, honestly, the first 3 do really well as they balance okay, there's weird stuff going on, but every day it feels like there is a shift in the family dynamic. There's some kind of not even like character development, but the characters are at least feeling differently about the situation, and it feels like it's constantly escalating, and maybe they're like their mental situations we see them deteriorate pretty much, but this just kind of always feels like it's at a certain level. It's very flat.
Definitely. And they're still doing, which they've done with all these movies, the night whatever date, and then like each night it says night 4, night 6, November 12th, whatever. And in the first movie that felt so purposeful, like it was documenting Mika's documentation of all this. It was showing us that. And it was like, oh man, they're on like day 20 of this. Like this shit feels really heavy. And now it just feels perfunctory and that they're just doing it because that's what the series does. When it says night number 9, I'm like, okay, so, because you just showed me day number 8 beforehand and everything still felt the same.
I feel like just in the universe of these movies, the reason that these are edited together is by the end of this movie, some kind of murder has to happen, or else why bother editing this together? This has to be some kind of active investigation, or this is for some purpose. But that first one, it feels so much more purposeful.
Yeah,
it feels
like Mika bought a camera. This is night 1 with the camera recording. Cool.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, that one you even kind of get the touches of like whatever invisible characters editing this after the fact, whether it's like an investigator or something, whereas this one is like, is this part of the same case? Like, because it kind of feels like it, but then it's also kind of odd that if this was part of some investigation that's ongoing, that there would be like a recap at the beginning of it. I don't know. It's just...
Yeah, it feels like it's kind of lost its purpose and form.
I feel like if you are going to get this far into the series, you got to start framing, especially this one where it at first feels so removed from the other 3, even though it's not. We get that it is linked to the other 3, but you got to almost have it edited differently or have it be part of like a different, like... It's found footage and people who found it realized, oh, it's connected to this crazy shit that's been going on in California, but maybe it was part of something different originally in Nevada. Like have it actually feel very separate, and then it comes together at the end that no, it is part of the story of the first 3.
Yeah, there are a lot of ways to do it.
Yeah, and I think maybe that would... If you made it stylistically different, I think then you can write it in earlier that why it's adopted and not have it raise any red flags. Problem though is that how many people going to see this in a theater are going to remember the first 3?
Yeah, I mean, they came out year after year after year, but still.
But this one didn't.
It did.
It did?
Mm-hmm. I think it came out in 2012.
Oh, I see.
They came out, like, the wide release of the first one was 2009, and then it was 10,
okay.
11, 12.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
But still.
I think I'm getting my timelines confused because that first one is filmed so much earlier than it came out, and then we jump back to like the 80s, and now we're so many years ahead of that second one. Got it. I see.
Yeah, this was the yearly Halloween tradition after Saw retired.
It's like either you gotta go in 100% on trusting that your audience cares about this narrative, which if you think that they do, which they clearly think the audience does because they're choosing to continue this story of Katie and Hunter and all that, you either have to like choose to go in hard on that and maybe trust that your audience remembers it, because if you think they care about it, they probably remember the first 3, and then don't include a recap, don't imply that this is connected at all to those first 3, and then I think it's more fun of a reveal when you realize that Wyatt is Hunter.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. some of the creepy stuff that happens is a overt Shining reference of this kid riding around.
Oh boy,
on
I
a
didn't
big
even write
trike.
that. I just wrote like, yeah, we got a big wheel, like
Yeah,
it's
riding
Shining.
around the big house. Also, imagine having a house big enough to where you can just ride a big wheel
Yeah,
around.
no shit.
Or a house where, as we discussed, the 15-year-old teenage girl has her own bathroom attached to her room.
You're rich if you had your own bathroom growing up.
Oh my God.
I'm
Can
saying
you
it.
imagine?
Yeah, but it's true.
I just hear all your horror stories of the shared bathroom at the Rebecca house.
Yeah, it
with you and a
sucks.
younger sister and your parents.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I grew up in a very small house, which is tough when you're a teenager. There's no privacy.
room.
I didn't even have friends over really because, like, where would we all hang out? It's just,
That's why we had the basement.
I know. My house had a basement, but it was, like, kind of just gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so was ours, but we were,
Yeah,
we were teenage
You
boys.
made you.
Yeah, so there's like a rides around the bike. The bike rides itself. And he's like, oh, cool.
He goes, how cool.
Yeah. There's another tiny door, I think, in his room. He's got a little tiny door because they draw inside it. Like they write
and
the name-
apparently that's where Robbie sleeps.
Is it? No, he has a
according-
bunk bed.
Is he in the bed or is he sleep in the...
I think he's in the
I think
bunk
I was
bed.
reading the Wikipedia recap and it was saying...
No, he's not Harry
Robbie
Potter.
sleeps
They don't fucking just shove him in a...
No, but I think it was like, here, you have this bed, and then he would go sleep in the closet.
Oh, sure, maybe. I don't know.
No, that'd be kind of fucked. Like, no wonder he's freaking out. And
We'll take you in, little boy. Just get into our closet.
yeah.
It locks from the outside. They're drawing the symbol, the circle. Was it the circle inside the triangle, or is the triangle from inside
It's
the
a
circle?
circle inside a triangle.
Okay, and they call it a Hattusi symbol of fertility.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's more, kind of world building with this cult. And I don't know how much of this is based on real life, symbols. And because the Hittites are real, but I don't know how much of this stuff is real.
Yeah, there is the thing where the knife, like the mom's chopping some vegetables, and then she turns around and the knife goes up into
That
the
was
air.
cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
I wanted a better payoff.
I know, because it's such a cool thing. It goes up, and then she's like looking around, and she doesn't see it, and she's like, I must
Where'd
be crazy.
I put this knife?
Yeah, and she gets a new
so
one.
you just, in the back of your head, that knife is presumably on the ceiling. It's
I don't
just
know,
stuck
'cause
up there. Or is it
because we get
disappeared?
wide shots from the living room camera, and I wasn't looking, but I feel like I would have
wasn't either.
noticed had there been a
That'd be
knife.
great if you could see the knife that whole time.
But like the family would have noticed a knife on the ceiling from that.
I think if we're just, I think I'm kind of looking at our apartment and, if there was a knife on the ceiling, I would see
You'd
it.
notice, yeah.
I'd be like, oh, there's a knife up there.
So I think it goes up and just disappears into the ether. But then the scene cuts, and so this knife is gone for a long time. And so the whole time, like you said, you're like, when's that knife going to drop?
Yeah, because it has to.
And it does later, and it just scares the dad.
Yeah, because the dad, and this is the scene too where the dad turns off the computer that keeps filming.
But is still...
Or was it he tried to... But even if you try and turn a computer... I don't know. Yeah, so the dad, it's basically just a view like right up this dad's nose because the dad is on this laptop and he tries turning it off. And when he walks away from it, it turns itself back on. And he walks back and he's kind of leaning basically over the laptop camera. And you're thinking, oh my God, this is where this knife would, if it was on the ceiling, it's hanging right over his head. I just wanted it to drop on him so bad. Or like on his hand.
Yes, on
or
his hand
arm.
or something.
And when he was leaning in really close to the camera, and I'm thinking, oh my God, it's going to go through his neck or some shit. But no, he walks away and then the knife falls and just kind of scares him.
And that's when the mom is the unbelievably
that's right.
dismissive because she comes down and I guess they had been fighting and she's like, just come back upstairs. He's holding a knife and is like, this knife just
came
fell out of nowhere.
nowhere.
And she's like, okay, just come back upstairs. It's like, no, dude, one, he looks crazy and scary.
Yeah.
Standing there with a fucking kitchen knife after they had an argument. Maybe don't act so nonchalant.
Yeah.
But two, just listen to him for 1 fucking second, communicate. I get that they're a couple that is, on the ropes, but...
Yeah, and I guess to give some kind of context, if you've seen Liar Liar, the dad in this movie is just Jim Carrey in Liar Liar. He's just he's like late for the birthday party at the beginning. He misses soccer and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, this
and,
dad sucks.
You know, he misses his kid's birthday again, and then Wyatt makes a wish that his dad will be killed by a demon or
Dude,
something.
speaking of liar, remember the elevator scene where it's like, everyone's
Yes.
been so nice to me. That's because your drugs
Yeah,
are big.
yeah.
That woman is the mom in Final Destination 3D who like she gets like a stone chucked through her eye and she has like the
Yes.
shitty kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow. So
Oh,
that was
this
pretty
lady
fun.
with the boobs from Liar Liar.
Yep.
Nice.
But on a sadder note, as far as actors go,
Yeah.
the guy who played the dad in this, what's his name? Stephen Dunham, who was also in The Mummy as one of the Americans who goes and fucks with the mummy stuff, and then he gets like killed by the mummy. He died right after they filmed this on his 48th birthday by a heart attack.
God.
And that fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah.
And then even worse is that the mom in this movie was his real life wife. They played a married couple and were married in real life, and he died right after filming this before it came out, so it was dedicated to him. On his how could that
man.
woman ever watch this movie
I know.
and see like them together, them arguing together as a couple, and then knowing it was the last thing he did before dying shortly after production?
Fuck.
That fucking sucks,
Man,
dude.
I like almost wish I didn't know that. That's so sad.
I know. So sorry to bring everyone down. But, I mean, the dad did a good job in this. I
No,
keep saying the parents are shitty, but, like, that's the
They're
characters.
believable as these. Like, they're extremely believable.
Yeah,
as
like, I
these
know that
characters.
dad, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very, like, upper crusty, like, white parents.
Detached, removed parents, yeah.
Like the mom giving Alex one of her sleeping pills.
Oh,
And
yeah,
she's
just
like
drugging
on,
her
she's,
cheek.
she's fucking on the couch drinking wine. It's like, I gave Alex one of my pills, so she'll go the fuck to bed.
Yeah, so she get the fuck out of here. Or earlier when she's like, who's she asking if they want cheese? You want some cheese?
Yeah, I forget
You
who.
want some
She's
cheese?
like, want cheese? Want cheese? She just, I think if they're having dinner and she keeps asking Wyatt if he wants cheese. Wyatt want cheese? Wyatt want
Sounds like
cheese?
she's talking to a dog, because dogs love cheese, man.
Dogs love cheese. A more fun casting thing that I just noticed now.
Yeah.
You know how like Frank Welker's in a fucking everything?
Yeah, the voice actor.
Frank Welker as vocal effects / Toby. Unfucking believable.
Oh, that's hilarious.
He's in everything. Go to his IMDb. Frank Welker has voiced everything you love.
Who's what's his big role?
I mean, he's Scooby Doo.
Oh.
Or he oh fuck. I always mix up who is who because I feel like there's kind of some doubling of like voice actors in those, but he's definitely Fred in Scooby Doo.
Oh.
But I think he also did Scooby Doo because I know Shaggy was Casey Kasem.
Casey
Kasem. Yeah, I don't know. He's in everything that you like.
Mm-hmm.
He's again, I don't know why I always remember this, but Michael Jordan's dog in Space Jam, who's not really a character. He just happens to own a dog, and they needed the dog to make dog noises, so they got Frank Welker to come in and do it.
Also,
Legend.
I'm glad that knife was taken away from that mom because she like grabs another one and wipes it
goes
off
to wipe it off
with a towel on the blade
Just blood
side.
everywhere.
Yeah. Oh God. One, you're dulling the blade with your towel. It's getting fibers everywhere.
Yeah.
Two, you're gonna fucking slice her hand open.
Yeah. She's probably drunk making her peppers or whatever
Dude,
she's chopping up.
She chopped so many peppers. That
was
recipe was
a
like,
lot.
keep chopping
It was
the
like
red
more
peppers.
Keep
More
chopping
peppers.
peppers. We're just making peppers.
The Toby appears on the infrared at least once more. And he's got like a little weird alien boy body. It's fucking
it's
gross, and I love it.
gross.
It's so
That-
oh.
I want to know how they did that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how they did the shot where it cuts from them running to the lights going on and there's nothing there because it looks so fluid.
I want to know how they got the rights to have SpongeBob playing on the laptop when that kid's in
Man.
the tub.
I
You
wonder
only
if
hear
it's you only hear it for a little bit, and I think that's kind of not a thing where it's if you play less than 30 seconds, it's fine. I don't think that's actually
not a
true.
thing. That's not a thing.
But they don't play that much SpongeBob because he's watching SpongeBob. Wyatt is, to clarify, and then he goes to take a bath and he brings his laptop with him to this big ass bathtub. It looks like a pretty nice setup.
That looks like a fucking cool tub.
But then he's not
dude.
watching SpongeBob. He's just watching generic cartoon sounds. There's not even voices. It's
But
just
prior
like,
to that,
boing,
it is clearly Patrick, SpongeBob, and Squidward.
yeah.
Like,
Honestly, I think if I listened more closely, I could probably tell you what episode it was.
and that's a thing where he's pulled under in the bathtub and he's under the water for a long time.
That was spooky.
That was
Getting pulled in
spooky.
the bathtub.
And he just comes back up. But yeah, all these are just like they're such isolated spookiness.
Yeah. There's not much dread in this one compared to the earlier ones. These kind of just feel like, oh, there's a scare and then some stuff happens and there's a scare. It doesn't feel as atmospheric, which is a bummer.
Mm-hmm. After Alex gets that sleeping pill from her mom, that's when she's passed out in her room and Wyatt comes into her room and like she just elevates above the bed, like
does
back arched.
He like levitates her.
And that's when I don't know how they fucking did it, but it looks fucking cool.
Yeah.
Looks real good.
That is, again, that's something I'll say in this series' favor is I can't think of another string of movies I've watched recently where I'm like, how they do that, you know? Because I don't think these have crazy budgets, or at least they're, the later ones, they look like they don't. Maybe these later ones, they gave them more money so they could do stuff like this, but it's just a really nice effect. It looks good. It doesn't look like there was any CG involved. Like all the physics of it are, I'm so curious how they did it.
Yeah.
Because it's all very smooth and.
It is. I think the only times it sometimes looks a little obvious CG, I think in part 3 is when kids are getting dragged around, and that's just a little bit. And that's only if you're looking for it.
I see.
But yeah.
And the demon faces always look dumb to me.
Demon faces don't look great. There's one in this when Katie
Yeah.
Demon Faces runs at a door, but I do like when she like busts through the door.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Oh my God, Katie's so strong.
Because she ends up just going over to that house, and it's night 12 when someone comes downstairs, and then it's the camera with the infrared Kinect thing, and then you see someone stand up from the couch.
I love that.
And at first I was like, oh, Toby's back, and it's like, oh no, that's fucking
No,
Katie.
it's because Katie was just sitting there that whole time. I think that's pretty cool. You
That was a
realize,
cool
she's
thing.
been there that whole time. Yeah. So, yeah, the main characters, or at least Alex, at this point has met Katie and is like, hey, the mom from across the street is back, right? And then Alex's mom is like, oh, she must be feeling better. Like, no, she doesn't seem like she was ever actually sick, and she's just back and is also really weird. That's fine. So yeah, but Robbie is now back with his quote unquote mom across the street.
And I think that's the night when we get the scene in the garage where Alex hears the garage door, so she like opening and closing, so she goes in there and it ends up like locking her inside, and the car turns on its own, filling the garage with smoke.
Yeah.
And I told you this, I remember seeing this in a theater or maybe just in the natural science auditorium at University
where they
of
would
Michigan.
screen stuff early.
They would screen
I
stuff.
saw Toy Story 3.
Toy Story?
Toy Story.
Toy Story 3?
I saw Toy Story 3 there early.
Yeah, I saw this, I think, early, and when she finally drives the car backwards through the garage door and escapes the fucking theater cheer, which I find so funny. Just
That's
like,
so funny.
you did it, Alex! You got out of there!
But that made me wonder, why don't garages have, like, things to prevent that from happening?
I don't know. You want to have it at least a little bit climate controlled.
I
You can't
guess.
just be opening your garage to the elements.
There's plenty of garages, though, that are just open on the front.
What?
Yeah.
Not a good garage.
No, but
That's a fucking lean-to.
the dad comes in and is like, hey, I've been a bad dad. Let's go get dinner or something.
Yeah.
And so he goes and takes Alex out to dinner, which is good because while they're gone, Katie decides to come back over and is just flinging people around. She's flinging the mom around. The mom hits the ceiling and just falls down hard.
Yeah, mom dead from that.
Yeah.
Then Ben comes over because he lets himself in.
Yeah.
And he's like looking around and he gets his fucking neck twisted.
Yeah,
His head gets turned backwards.
It does go pretty far around.
Yeah, it's cool.
Katie snaps his neck pretty hard and then puts him in the closet. That's
Puts him
where
behind the bead
that's
door,
where we're like,
yeah.
oh my God, Katie, look at the beads. For all we know, she did stand there just all night.
What happens to her dad?
So they're driving back to the house, and while they're in the car, they notice that Katie and
That's right.
Wyatt are heading back to Katie's house, and they're like, all right, that's weird.
That's our fucking kid.
That's our kid. The dad says, I'm going to go follow them into Katie's house, and Alex is going to go investigate their house to check if the mom is okay. She's not.
She's dead.
She goes upstairs, and she decides to call Ben for help, and his phone rings, and it's in the closet.
Yeah.
So then when she goes and checks on the closet, I thought this was a weird edit, and I wonder if maybe some stuff was taken out.
Yeah.
Because
Well, one, I don't know for sure if she saw Ben's body.
I think she
that's unclear.
did.
I would assume that she did, but it's not super clear. And then, yeah, she gets knocked down and dragged towards the door.
Yeah, but then it cuts, and we're back to her POV where she's holding the camera or whatever, and she's running across the. So
Yeah.
how?
I don't know.
I think something was taken out there
Yeah,
because
that makes the
cut
most
didn't
sense.
make any sense.
It's very abrupt and very like, wait, what? She was just being dragged.
Yeah,
by
I was
force.
really confused.
Yeah,
yeah. So
not
she runs
great.
across the street to get her dad, and dad is also being thrown around, and that's when Katie shows up and gets all demon face and is fucking chasing her like Nikki Cross around this house. Katie in this has Nikki
Come
Cross
play with
energy.
Katie.
Yeah. They could play cousins or something. They remind me of each other a little bit.
I want to meet Katie.
I know, me too. I really, really want to meet, because I think she's a very good actress, and she's someone who, like, I think they got so lucky having her for all these movies. She really is this connecting thread that these movies are not nearly as fun or interesting if Katie isn't there to kind of wrap it all up, because that's the stuff I'm at this point in the series caring about.
Definitely.
It's less about the scares, even though those are fun, and more about like what the fuck is going on with this cult.
Katie and Toby, and yeah, this cult,
Mm-hmm.
which we see once more after Alex escapes Katie by going out a window, and
Yeah.
and then she finds Wyatt, and that's when she turns around, and there's just
A ton of people.
a deluge of
It's
witches.
really cool.
Yeah,
And presumably this is the sacrifice that I think earlier in the movie, Alex is reading some book about covens or something and realizes, oh, this stage of a demon possessing a kid, it's like the last thing required to make this transition permanent is you need to sacrifice a virgin. And Alex is like, I'm a virgin, I'm not gonna worry about it, whatever.
Yeah.
But presumably this is the sacrifice.
yeah, because Katie demon faces
demon
at her,
faces, yeah.
and that's that.
Yeah.
So we assume Alex was killed as a sacrifice, and Robbie,
Possibly.
who the fuck knows?
Who
Where did
is
that guy
Robbie?
go?
What is Robbie? I don't know. The filmmakers don't know, I don't think. They also don't, as far as I can tell. I did not read anything pertaining to the next two, because we are going to watch them now, because I have questions that I need answered. But at the time of like this movie coming out, they did an interview where like they were saying like, oh, fans were saying, oh, they were coming up with their own ideas for sequels, and a lot of them involved Alex still being alive. So a lot of fans thought maybe she was still alive. I don't think she comes back in any
No,
of these
because
other
I
ones.
glanced at her filmography. I
think
didn't
it's
see
just
any other
this, yeah.
Paranormal Activities.
But who knows? I also love that even just down to little things like Robbie, when he's kind of unpacking his shit, when he's coming over to stay for a few days, he's like unpacking all this weird crap from his bag.
he has a fork.
He has a fork, and he just goes, this fork tells the future. It's
yeah,
very
what the
old.
fuck was that?
Apparently, they just let this kid riff.
That was that kid improvising.
Fuck yeah, it was. They just let him improv, dude. They were like, okay, unpack your bag of props.
What the fuck? That's
was-
literally a short form improv game.
Yes.
Is like pulling
it
something out and
absolutely is.
explaining.
There's
what-
a whose line is it anyway game. Okay, and the scene is you're a demon kid moving in with his neighbors. Unpack this bag.
Oh, that makes me
He's like
miss.
fucking Colin Mockery, just like, it's my fork that tells the future. And then Wayne Brady comes out and makes up a song about it. I love though that fans were like, what does this fork mean? Like, what could, and I was wondering too, like, ooh, how's this gonna play? Like, what weird layer are we adding to this? No, they just let this 10-year-old kid improv a scene and kept it.
God damn it. Cool. That about sums up the approach to this movie, I think.
Yeah, and like, it is weird because again, I like all the other ones, and it's like the same people involved in this one. I don't know. You can't win them all.
You can't. It's okay.
Sometimes you're gonna make a bad movie. It happens to the best of us.
I forget. Is Ghost Dimension considered worse than this one?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh no.
I think when I googled it, it had a 15%.
What year was that? Do you remember?
No.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of bracing myself for that shit. Because that one apparently, and this was before we decided to do both of these, and I think this is something that's established early on, so I don't really think it's a spoiler. Apparently in, I believe, Ghost Dimension, the family in that one discovers a camera that can film supernatural things. So it's not even like, oh, we're setting up cameras tonight, but this is like a magic camera. I don't know. I also forget which one has time travel. I think it's that one.
I think it's that one.
I'm kind of ready for that one. Bring on the time travel. I mistakenly thought this one was the one with time travel and was really sad when it wasn't, because that was kind of like the spice I needed at the end of this one. But nope.
Yeah, she like goes across the street and it's the house from the third one, like from the 80s.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
And she's the babysitter or some dumb
Whoa.
shit. Yeah.
All right, well, that's Paranormal Activity 4.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to end our coverage of the series here, but I guess we're going to keep going.
We're going to keep the pool open. We're extending.
Is it
pool,
Adult Swim then?
Adult Swim, yeah. We're extending
Burr,
pool
burr.
hours.
Burr, burr, burr,
No, we
burr.
don't have cool enough bumpers to be Adult Swim. So yeah, but I think next week we're gonna do something
Yeah, let's take a
different.
little
I'm
break.
thinking of doing a Would You Rather episode.
Okay.
So if you've got Would You Rathers, email them.
Do that.
deadmeatpod@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, then we'll get back to it with marked ones, which I think is it's
I'm
fun.
very interested in.
And it's a change of scenery, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that much.
Yeah.
Cool. And I do remember them. They're in apartments and they use a string or rope or something and lower a camera down a vent to look into the apartment below them. Creepy just talking about it.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. Yuck.
That'll be good. Yeah, so that's the plans right now. We're mostly done with conventions. We'll be at Midsummer Scream. We will be in Toronto for SummerSlam.
That's right.
If you're a Canuck.
If you're gonna be at SummerSlam and you see us, say hi.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I think that'll be finally like the last big, like we're winding down.
I think after that, the only thing we have is Jarrett's Labyrinth Ball,
Yes,
which is
we'll
just
be
a
at that
one-night
too.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we're nearly done with our crazy fucking summer. It has been a blast.
Yeah.
But holy shit. Wow. We slept, after Comic-Con, we slept for 11 hours that first
That was
night in our
nice.
own bed. It was dope.
Yeah.
And we're very fortunate to have the opportunity, like, to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's been great. Like this has been such a great summer. I am also very grateful that people are enjoying the Paranormal Activity coverage
Yeah.
because again, like this really, really saved me a lot of stress and
Yeah, so thank you for being understanding. And yeah, we got more ahead and we'll return to normality in September, briefly, before the Halloween season.
I know, I was
kicks
gonna say,
in.
like, oh no, it's our sweep season in October. Fucking
Yep.
October. I
Just-
love it, but I also am like, oh
Just
boy.
think about November, honey, and that'll be, just think about a couple of months from now.
No, October's great.
It's going to be
I'm
great.
excited.
Yeah.
It's the best month.
Until next week. Oh, yeah, just social media at Dead Meat James, Twitter and Instagram.
Oh, I'm at Careback, CREVECC on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want merch, store.com. I just designed a bunch of new shirts. I haven't released them yet, but like they're coming.
Dude, three new shirts.
I think there's 3 new ones.
And
yeah.
they're of stuff that y'all fucking love.
Yeah.
So it's going to be real cool.
Including one that I don't think anyone would have thought I would have turned into merch, but I did. I figured out a way to do it.
Yeah. But until all that, I'm James.
I'm Chelsea.
And this has been the Dead Meat Podcast.